Hi, how you doing? I know, dramatic title, isn't it? Well, I just want you to know, and I'm going to tell you the story about me being hacked. But it's not a story of all doom and gloom, so don't worry. But I will tell the story. I've been hacked across all my social medias. I've lost three websites, all my domain names that I'd collected over a few years. On my social media, I had two big accounts on Instagram, about 65,000 followers. So obviously take years to build them up. So very gutted about that. I had my Facebook group deleted, which was full of potential clients that were interested in things I had to say. I lost my personal profile, which is actually a really hard thing to deal with, which I never thought. Like Facebook has become kind of like the fundamental, where we hang out and speak to people. But actually, having to redo a new one is actually a weird experience when you've put things on there and added school friends from like 11, 12 years ago. I think we all started Facebook, and the millions of photos and things like that that go with it, and all my like professional connections, people that I'd met in America, all over the world at different events and things like that, and having to start again and start to rebuild some relationships. And Pinterest, my personally from business, Pinterest had been an interesting one for me. So yes, well, what happened was I had a call from my virtual assistant, and he was wondering why I deleted all the projects and all the work from next week. So he was asking me, and I was thinking, that's really strange. I don't know what he's talking about. But I was on another call with somebody else, and then literally I got a message straight back saying your website's not there. So I got off the call and I checked it, and I could see that it was coming up with something really strange, and just could not. I kind of couldn't fathom what was happening. I was thinking a server's down, something like that. So I contacted one of my techie guys, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, it looks like you haven't paid for your domain name." And so I'm like, "Well, oh my god, of course I pay for my domain name. It's on a roll." And obviously, weirdly enough, I had actually checked it recently, so I knew that I hadn't let it expired, and it was going to be another year and everything like that. So I knew that was okay. But I thought, like, okay, in a state of panic, I'm like, oh, my website's not there. This is really weird. So I sat in a queue to speak to the domain name hosts customer service, and actually they answered fairly quickly, but actually that proved to not serve me well. What I should have been doing is saving my social media accounts. But you learn, don't you? And so I sat in a queue, I spoke to them, and I was on the phone to them for 50 minutes, and they wasn't really playing ball with me because they thought I'd changed everything. They assumed that I was fake and all these kind of things. And so, yeah, so I was very upset, and I was in a queue with them, and then I was talking to my VA, and he's like, you need to get in and you need to save all your accounts, just save your accounts. And then he's like, I've checked this, it's disappeared, I've checked this. So I was frantically, desperately going into all my accounts and trying to save everything. Obviously I had to save my customers' personal data first, so I had to secure anything that had anything that was relating to anyone else. That was my first port of call, and then I had to I just went through step by step, trying to getting in a mess and a muddle, because as you can imagine, your heart's racing. Actually, this actually continued all night long, because every time I was logging in, they were bouncing it back out. What I didn't know is they'd actually hacked my computer, so they'd got into my emails, and every time I notified them that I went into one of my social media accounts, obviously it was pinging back onto my emails. So lesson there, don't link every single email. Make sure you have some Gmail set up somewhere else where you don't actually use that connected with all your social medias and things like that. So what they had actually done is they jumped on my computer. I must have done, I'm really careful about this, but obviously not careful enough, they must have sent a link and I must have clicked on a link or something weird. And I didn't really know anything had happened until all this kind of started in May, middle of May it was, and obviously went on throughout the night. And then what happened was I was trying to save things and things were coming out and bouncing back, and then I contacted VA was telling me to contact the police, so I contacted the police. And as lovely they were and very, very helpful, there actually isn't that much they can do. As far as my domain names are concerned, the police are dealing with this. I've lost about 5 or 6 domain names that I have, and three websites. On my fitness business, we're rebuilding it. We have some of it backed up, so we're rebuilding it, and lost some of the other stuff. I lost like I said, Facebook groups. I lost some of my beauty industry stuff, websites, Facebook pages, Instagram, all of that. I managed to save Strong Women Fitness page because luckily enough my VA